I often say they were magicians because that's how I saw them.
He did everything. He coordinated people, got the materials, looked for finances. He really burned for his art.
She always needed a big monumental project.
It's a monument of art, but it's also a monument of the 20th century, the history and so on.
Art saved both of them. It didn't kill them, it made them live.
Niki de Saint Phalle and Jean Tinguely came together around 1960. They married quite late in their careers. They influenced each other tremendously. Their artistic language is quite different one from the other, but they found platforms to collaborate.
Both Jean and Niki were terrible charmers. So unless you were really tough or protected or shielded in some way, they would eat you up because it was all about their art, it was all for their art. They were art fanatics, their art fanatics.
Jean Tinguely went through all the schools in Basel, and he started his artistic career with an apprenticeship as a shop window decorator. And that was, at the time, in the 1940s, was a possibility for him to work with all kinds of materials.
She was dealing with her own demons. Niki loved fairy tales. She would read really scary stories to me and always said, fairy tales exist because they're lessons in life, and that's why we tell little children these stories. As a child, what was amazing being around those two sacred monsters is that they would talk about something, and then a few days later, it was reality.
The ears listen to the forest, the birds, and so on. But it's not a quiet work.
He was an artist who was also kind of a sound artist. His works always have this acoustic dimension that's very important.
The Cyclop was a secret project in the woods of Milly-la-Forêt of Jean Tinguely and friends, family. Jean Tinguely and Niki de Saint Phalle, they live nearby. They live in Soisy-sur-École and Danemois. There was a scrap metal dealer nearby to bring the 350 tons of metal to make it. It's maybe his masterpiece.
He declared himself less kind of a sculptor, but more kind of a poet. So it's more about ideas, his work, and it's less about constructing machines. He had a Catholic background that influenced his work and his thinking about life and death.
The Cyclop is really an attempt for permanence. It was a big thing for both of them. Jean's work, he always says, the movement is life, but everything that lives moves and dies. This was Niki's destiny, as she liked to say. Very young, she had a eureka moment visiting the Parc Güell and the Chateau du Facteur Cheval. And she figured that one day she would do her own garden. Niki was already talking about monumental and architecture. And it's the influence of Eva Appli, Jean Tinguely's first wife, who really pushed her into the esoteric field. And by the 70s, it really becomes the tarot. She didn't sleep much, and she's just like, she needs to do this garden. She needs to do it. It's her mission in life. That is her destiny. And she did it.
I think he was a person that loved to be in contact with others, to collaborate as well. He was for sure a maniac in his artistic practice.
Their work has nothing to do with each other. It doesn't mean they're not in competition, because at first they want to impress each other, and also sometimes like, your thing is like, you can do better, you know, you're being lazy, or wow, this is crap. I mean, like, they could be brutal.
They made 25 years to build it, to finish it, until opening of the public. Of course, you have a tribute of a Tower garden here. You can recognize all the ceramic that you can find in Italy, with the little urns there.
Niki pushed the boundaries and made her place into the art world by being very cunning and charming and using her female intelligence. And she was quite a striking woman.
Niki de Saint Phalle, her work has still the same presence as a feminist artist, that you can still perceive the same way today as it was conceived. A lot of these topics, as man-machine relation or life and death or critique of consumerism, they're still extremely relevant.
When I was 17, she drew me the tarot cards. I mean, I already knew she was kind of a witch. She helped me understand what I was going through. She helped me be very strategic about it. And still today, my life is a consequence of it.
But it's incredible that women, as much as, I mean, they're working today, they've emancipated themselves, and yet politically we play no role, really. We don't decide anything. And women are much more, they're natural, biologically, they're much more, not only more conservative, but they care about, I mean, we feed our children. We have completely other roles and possibilities. And that's why I really think that women could administrate this world much better. Black power and women power, they get together.
Fantastic.
Take over everything. That's the solution.
You have to find your path in life. It's like a labyrinth. There's one entrance, there's one exit, and what happens in between is hopefully mostly of your own choice.